Okay, I ended the last one talking about ribosomes. These are where proteins are made, and so both groups have them. Eukaryotes need them too, but these are smaller and kind of free floating. Bacteria have appendages. You see the flagellum or flagella, and that helps them move. They hook onto surfaces through pili, sometimes fimbriae, and glycocalyx, which is a sticky outer coating. I'll have another slide on that. They can do this crazy thing about transferring genetic material straight across through this sex pili. It's not sexual reproduction at all, and they can do it between different species, and it's called horizontal gene transfer, and it's actually one of the reasons bacteria can mutate so quickly. So here's more on that. Or can evolve so quickly. So let's say this kind of bacteria is resistant to an antibiotic. It can, by some mutation, crazy, random thing, transfer that into another one that's a different species of bacteria, but now it's resistant to that same antibiotic. So it's kind of an amazing thing. Fimbriae, or Fimbria 1, Fimbriae mini, are these little stick-like, or little finger-like projections all over the outside, and disease-causing things often use those to attach and hold on to the host. E. coli lives in our stomach, in our guts, I mean, not in our stomach, in our intestines, and they hook on by the same thing. Streptomycin, how does it work? It's kind of cool. It combines with the bacteria's ribosomes so they don't work. Guess what? They can't make any more proteins. You're going to find out that they need to have a lot of proteins to function, and so it can't continue functioning at all. Let's say you're looking at something, and like the test question says, they look like eukaryotes. They got a bunch of stuff in there, but they have no membrane-bound nucleus. If there's not a nucleus, it's got to be a prokaryotic cell. So your choices are a bacterium or archaea. Archaea, those extreme things that live in really hot, really cold, really salty, really acidic, that kind of stuff. And here's the extremophiles, the kind of places that they might look. We just discovered them not long ago by looking at the bacteria, looking at the DNA and realizing they were not bacteria. All right, eukaryotes. Those are the animals, plants, protists, and fungi. So the size can be anywhere between 10 to 100 excuse me, I'm unable to speak today, so yes. So here we are. We've got an egg, we've got a red blood cell, we got a neuron there. So let's talk about some of this stuff. DNA is enclosed in a double membrane nucleus. That's what makes them different. That's what makes them special and more evolved. We keep the DNA separate from the other activities going on in the cytoplasm that could damage the DNA. We don't want to damage the DNA. So these pores that you'll see in the nuclear envelope here of this is the nucleus, allows the passage of certain molecules to come out, like we need messenger RNA to come out and ribosomes to come out. We'll find out more about what they're doing later, but they're building proteins. So let's do an analogy and kind of work through this as an analogy. So let's say the cell is a factory. The nucleus is information central. It's where all the genetic information and everything is. And in your factory, it'll be where your plans are for what you build, your future projections, or whatever, and all the equipment information that you need to build it. In there is going to be chromosomes. That's where DNA, genes, and our actual genetic coding are. In your factory, that would be the plans or blueprints for whatever you're building. In your body, these really code for the proteins that make your eyes the color they are, for example. We'll do lots with genetics coming up. So chromosomes are really condensed chromatin. Chromatin is the form it's usually in the nucleus, and just before it starts to divide, it condenses until it looks like this. And if you look through a microscope, these are cells, these few here are in stages of mitosis, so they're dividing, and so they're starting to condense. So you can see those chromosomes. All right, the next thing I want to talk about in the nucleus is the nucleolus, and that's what produces ribosomal RNA. That goes out to the factory floor. It takes plans with it, with the ribosomes, and so that's where that's built. All right, I'll be back in a second for the next part.